So good morning, everyone. Welcome to your Yoga for Everybody class. Take a moment and allow yourself to decide where you'd like to begin our practice today. We're going to start with about 3 to 5 minutes of mindful breathing. So you could always lie down on your back, knees bent is recommended for breathing. This does help to relax a lot of the muscles in the lower body that can help to remove some tension on the diaphragm and also the ribs and the energy around the lungs. If you'd rather sit up, you're welcome to sit. Maybe sit on top of a pillow or a bolster. Elevating the hips is the quickest way to relax your low back and to relax the spine. Again, relaxing those muscles that could help the breath to be a little more accessible. Let's kindly and compassionately remind our bodies that as long as we're breathing, we're doing yoga. So at any time, if we find ourselves being judgmental with the practice, if we feel like we're in competition with ourselves, or if we have some sort of expectations of the body that interrupts our sense of peace and well-being, bring it back to the breath. Bring it back to a big inhale and then an exhale. So let's begin there. Let's begin with a few exaggerated breaths, inhaling preferably through the nose. That way we're able to warm and filter the air, but at any time, breathe in through your mouth and then let it go. You could let your muscles tense slightly as you inhale. Maybe pull the shoulders up and in, maybe even clench the buttocks muscles and curl your toes a little bit. Pause at the top of that inhale and then let it all go and completely relax the body. You could do as many of these as you want. You could add in that little inhale, clench, pause, exhale, release anytime in the practice. Sometimes this helps to reset the mind, the body, and to refocus our intent, which is to stay in the moment. Ata, Yoga Anushasanam. That is the first phrase in the Sutras of Patanjali. It's an instructional book for yoga. And the first word is now. Ultimately, how can I stay in the moment? Yesterday is gone. Tomorrow is not yet here. Today, this moment is all we really have. Let us begin. Those are in the words of Mother Teresa. Let's place both hands on our belly and let's shape the breath so that we are breathing mostly in the stomach. And if there's any tension or anxiety in the body, naturally the breath is going to move up into your heart and up into your shoulders. So if you're noticing the breath in your heart or in your shoulders, encourage the breath to begin low in the belly. And as you inhale, let your stomach expand like a balloon. And then let that breath like a wave, let it roll up through your ribs, into your heart and into your chest and shoulders. Maybe stop it just at the throat. And when you exhale, relax your heart, relax your shoulders, your ribs, and then your low back and hips. So we can dissect this breath, inhaling belly, ribs, and heart. Exhale, heart, ribs, and belly. Or just keep the breath in your belly. Just in your belly. Now, the mechanics of breathing are very important here. So as you inhale with the hands on the stomach, as we breathe in, we should feel the stomach pushing out into our hands. So it's filling like a balloon. As we inhale, we want the stomach to go out. And as we exhale, this is usually effortless. So the stomach just naturally flattens or pulls in or softens with little to no effort. Now, because of stress, because of tension, sometimes just because of the way we're sitting or because of clothing, sometimes we do what's called reverse breathing. So sometimes when you inhale, your stomach goes in. And if you're inhaling and your stomach goes in, that means the air is up in your chest. And over time, this can contribute to a lot of different physical problems and mental emotional issues, even cardiovascular issues. So we want to acknowledge if we have any reverse breathing, this could be challenging at first to breathe correctly. It could be work to inhale. Breathe in, the stomach pushes out. Maybe it comes up to your heart. And then exhale, relax your heart, relax your ribs, and relax your belly. You might want to pull your stomach muscles in to exaggerate the contraction on the exhale. Just focus on the movement of your belly. Maybe close the eyes. If you're lying down, let your eyes rest back into the mind space. If you're seated, make sure your chin is lowered enough so that an egg could roll off of your head. And let your eyes rest forward if you're seated, away from the mind space. No matter where you are, soften through the bridge of the nose, soften to the insides of the ears. Let's take another quiet minute to shape the breath, just moving the belly. Now, if you're seated, I invite you to lie down on your back with the knees bent. And we'll begin with a supine warm up, warming up the body, lying on our backs. Let's take the hands down beside us on the floor, and we could always take them out a little bit away from the body, palms down to brace the body and to give the spine and the rest of the physical self a sense of support. Let's let the knees sway left and right, and maybe just use half of your effort in this. So you could have a big range of motion, but maybe move just a little slower than usual. Eventually match it to the breath. On the exhale, we twist. Easy does it on that low back and on the hips. Inhale through center, and then exhale, twist over to the side. You could look in the same direction as the twist. Sometimes this is a lot less tension on the spine. Or you could try looking in the opposite direction of your twist, just adding in a little bit more of an element of rotation through the entire spine. Inhale through center, exhale, gentle twist. Do one more on each side. Let's meet at center with our knees. Drawing both knees in towards the chest. Hold on behind the thighs. Let's roll out the ankles and wiggle the toes, encouraging just a little more circulation of energy through the feet and through the legs before we put weight into the feet and legs, encouraging some healthy communication. When you're ready, take the knees out to about the width of your hips, and let's lower both feet to the floor. Placing our palms right down beside us next to the hips. Let's inhale, pull the heels back without moving the feet, and you'll feel a little bit of a slide, a little bit of traction in the body. So pull the heels back and then push into the heels to lift your hips into bridge. Let's look straight up towards the sky. Chin is slightly in towards the chest. without bearing down. Exhale, lower the hips and bring the arms up and overhead. On the next inhale, hands come down, hips come up. Exhale, lowering the hips and lifting the arms up and overhead. Inhaling, lifting the hips. Exhale, hips down, arms overhead. Flowing bridge. It's okay if the arms lift up while the hips are up, but if you're noticing any shoulder pain at all, it is considered a little safer to have the hands down while the hips come up. This is considered a little safer if you're having any sort of rotator cuff issues or frozen shoulder issues. Inhaling, hips up. One more time. Exhaling, relax the hips, both arms overhead. Let's reach dynamically through the fingertips. Extend just the right leg out straight on the floor, just the right leg. From here, let's draw the left knee in towards the chest, bringing the hands behind the thigh, holding on right here. Janu Shirshasana, head to knee pose option. We can support the head with our right hand or keep both hands by your leg. On an exhale, gently contract the belly and curl up. We're keeping the leg really close in towards the middle of the body, having a little bit of lower abdominal compression. You can bend that right knee if there's any pain at all. Keeping the chin tucked in, head towards the knee, deeply contracting through the lower abdomen and belly. When you're ready, relax your head and neck. Let's lower just that left foot. Bring the right knee in and straighten the left leg down to the floor. Now, if there's any pain at all, I know some of you have had sciatica issues in the past or SI joint pain, bend that left knee if there's any pain at all. From here, slowly contracting up. If there's any pain in the neck or shoulders, left hand to the head and slowly come up. Deeply contracting the abdomen. Try breathing along the sides of the lungs. Keeping the leg pulled into the center of the body. So we're compressing the lower abdomen. One more breath in, and then exhale, relax. Let's straighten both legs out as straight as the body permits. We could even point the toes, extend the arms up and overhead, reaching dynamically through the fingertips and pointing the toes. So imagine that you have maybe like partner yoga, you have someone pulling on your ankles, lengthening the body down towards the mat. And then you might have just a little bit of a tug on the wrist. One more big inhale. And then exhale, relax the whole body. Let's bend our knees. Take your time, either rolling to left or right. Let's come over into lying on our sides just for a moment and breathe into the backs of the lungs. We want to stay here for at least 3 to 5 breaths, allowing the blood pressure to stabilize and allowing the spine also to organize any neurological information as we start to get a little more active in the body. Notice which top hand is going to provide support. And when you're ready, push into the floor. Let your head hang nice and loose as you come up about halfway. From here, come around into all fours. From all fours, we could be on shoulder, elbow, wrist alignment, or we could take all the pressure off the wrist altogether and have the shoulder in a straight line with the elbow for the next few movements. As we inhale, let's drop the belly and come into cow pose. Exhale, round the spine for cat pose and hang the head. Inhaling, hinge at the belly, lengthen through the spine. And then exhale, round. If you're noticing any pain in the pelvis or the back, make the movement a little smaller. You may want to just move the hips in a very conservative way. The bigger movement is not necessarily the better movement for the body. And same goes for the breath. A bigger breath is not necessarily a better breath for the body. Giving the body time to study and to be aware of the different feelings that come with every movement, and then making time for ourselves to decide if we want to adjust or if we want to stay what we're doing. Remember, this is your personal practice, and you have the right to change your mind at any time. Move towards comfort. Let's do one more of each. Let's find all fours. From all fours, let the hips sink back towards the heels into any expression of child's pose. We're going to hold child's pose for 5 to 10 breaths. It might be a full minute. In child's pose, you can take your knees out really wide. That way it makes space for your ribs and your stomach to move with the breath. And you can keep the head up or lay the head down, head to the left or right. There's so many different ways to create comfort and ease in child's pose. Find your breath here. Exhale, pause. Notice what's in that space. What happens after the pause? Wait for the next thought. Wait for the next sensation in the body. And just notice without judgment. If nothing comes up, if you exhale, pause, and if there's no thought and if there's no body sensation, you have cleared the mind. Even for a fraction of the moment, practicing the awareness of being truly immersed in the moment, truly present. Exhale, pause, wait for the breath, wait for sensation, wait for a thought, and then take a breath. You could stay here a little longer. Child's pose is an option any time in the practice to just reset the nervous system and to bring you into the moment. When you're ready, if you'd like to come forward, let's stretch out our arms, shift forward, bring the knees to hips width if the knees are wide, and let's see that the feet are tracking directly behind the knees. So we have the knees at the width of the hips or the pelvis, and the ankles and the feet are at the width of the pelvis or the hips. From here, let's slowly shift back, walk the hands forward a little more, keep the shoulders away from the ears. Inhale, coming forward into a kneeling plank. As we exhale, let's bend the elbows, lower down, maybe hover just above the floor. Push up on the inhale, then exhale back. Inhaling forward, stacking shoulder, elbow, wrist, or down on the elbow. You can hold it or chaturanga. Elbows pull in tight to the ribs. At the most, we lower down halfway, then pressing down and pushing back. Inhaling forward. Exhale halfway down at the most, or maybe just an inch. Keep the elbows pulled in really tight to the ribs, and then press up. Let's try 2 or 3 more like that. Move with the breath. Inhale forward, exhale lower. Inhale lift, exhale back. Maybe just one more of those yoga push-ups. When you're ready, inhale forward. Exhale, gently guide the chest all the way down. Relax the hips and the pelvis. Let's look forward. Look down to your mat. And as you inhale, pull up from the heart. without moving the head and neck. So we might only lift an inch or two away from the floor into our baby cobra. We could always take the hands in front of the body, elbows out to the side just for a moment. Let those elbows wing out. And then slowly begin to push with the heels of the hands. Draw the elbows in and straighten the arms. Just a little bit more of a back bend here, easing into a bigger cobra expression. Bhujangasana, cobra. Option to lift the chin and open the throat just a little bit. Let's press the shoulders away from the ears and keep pulling those elbows in and down towards the mat. Let's exaggerate a few big inhales here while we're strengthening the upper back. 2 more. Last one. When you're ready, come down onto the elbows. Bring the elbows in really close under the shoulder and close to the ribs, even close to the sides of the chest. Bring your feet in, maybe tuck the toes under. Now bend the knees and push into the tops of the thighs to lift the hips and the spine. So we're coming into a supported kneeling plank right now. Holding it here, if it feels right for you, push back through the heels and then lift the knees. So hopefully our alignment is shoulders and hips, spine in between, parallel to the floor. Let's look down towards our hands. Find your breath. Big inhale. Strong core. Big inhale. Strong core. You can lower the knees anytime as the body builds up in strength. You could lower both knees or even one knee to build in strength. Just maybe 3 more breaths. One more big inhale, big exhale. When you're ready, lower both knees, push back with the hips. Child's pose. From where you are, let's look between the hands, shift forward just slightly, and step your left foot forward. Coming into a kneeling lunge. If we're noticing any discomfort on the knee, maybe fold in the side of your yoga mat 1 or 2 times. This could just create a little bit more cushioning. Or put a blanket underneath your knee. That could help also. Let's see that the knee is in a straight line with the ankle. And from here, we'll walk the hands up onto the left thigh into our kneeling lunge. If this feels more comfortable, take your right foot and turn it towards the left edge of your mat. Maybe even turn your right knee out to a little bit of an angle. So I'm going to give you a front view on that lunge. A traditional kneeling lunge would be here, knees at hips width, and then my ankle is directly behind my knee. As an alternative to create a wider base of support, you can open up that hip bone and rotate the leg behind you and maybe even walk the foot out so you'd have both hips just a little bit open. This is a different foundation in our lunge, and sometimes it's even a precursor to horse pose. So take a moment, find your lunge. Hands are on the left thigh. When you're ready, keep the right hand on that left thigh. Let's inhale the left arm up and overhead. And imagine that you're stepping down into the earth with that right knee. Breathe down into the lower part of the right lung and then stretch the breath up into the upper left lung. Reaching straight up towards the sky. I know my fingertips aren't on the screen right now, but I'm reaching straight up. Imagine you're holding on to 100 helium balloons. So there's this sensation of energy that pulls us up towards the sky, and yet we continue to press down into that right knee. One more big inhale. When you're ready, exhale, small twist. Let's sweep the left arm back. Our hand might stay on the hip for support, or slide the knuckles by your low back. Just a gentle twist towards the left. Keep pressing down into the inside of the left foot, and maybe even press that left knee in slightly towards your belly button. Let's look over the left shoulder and lower the head to look down. If you have the open foundation in this lunge, you'll be able to see your right foot. Let's breathe into the upper left lung. Exhale, the body might twist a little more. Just one more big breath here. When you're ready, slowly come around to center. Let's take our hands down towards the floor. Easy does it. Sweeping that left foot back. Let's reset the hips, either child's pose or downward facing dog. So for downward facing dog, I recommend going into it from child's pose. If we're here in child's pose, we can tuck the toes under, roll the elbows down, elbows hover away from the floor. Let's pull the pelvis in, round the spine as you come forward. It's just like cat pose. Then lift the knees and release the hips, a little bit like cow pose. Let's hang our head between the biceps. You could even shake the head out. Ears can touch the biceps. You could walk the dog. Notice the breath. Big sighs of relief. When you're ready, let's lower our knees. Looking between our hands, stepping the right foot forward this time. And again, we could keep the knees tracking forward, hips tracking forward, or open it up. So maybe walk that right foot out to the right, swivel that left foot in and open the left knee. So you come into this wider stance. It's a wider base of support for the body. Take at least a couple more easy breaths to experiment and notice, where do you feel the most balanced? If the body is a little wobbly, that's natural. That's just the nervous system trying to move information to the brain and then from the brain to the muscles. So getting a little wobbly or a little shaky, that's part of a normal practice. Notice where you're the least shaky. The least amount of uncertainty, the most confidence in the pose. Let's keep maybe the left hand on the left hip, or we can even take that left hand across to the right thigh if it feels more supportive. As we inhale, sweeping the right arm up and overhead, straight up. The palm is going to face in. I know you won't be able to see it on the screen, but my palm is facing in. So imagine with your right hand as if you're going to screw in a light bulb. So there's a little bit of a rotation here. Step into the left knee, pushing the left knee down into the earth, and then feeling that energy that pushes down, complemented by an energy that pulls up and across the body. Let's lower the head and neck, find the breath, breathing down into the lower left lung, all the way up into the upper right lung. Option to close the eyes at any time. If your mind wanders, exhale, pause, wait for a thought, wait for a breath, observe. On your next exhale, let's twist towards the right, lowering that right hand to a safe place so we can maintain a sense of confidence and support in the pose. Adding in that gentle twist, we may want to look in the direction of the twist, looking towards the right. Press into the inside of your right foot and wiggle your toes. Maybe even imagine you're pressing the right knee in just a half an inch or an inch. We want to activate the muscles in the inner thigh. Pull up through the pelvic floor, lengthen through the spine. Breathe from that left hip to the upper right lung. One more big breath. And when you're ready, slowly come around. Let's take a moment and recenter the hips, reset that energy in your body. Maybe child's pose, maybe downward facing dog. Allow the body to choose for you. If you want the energy of down dog without pressure on the wrist, reach your hands forward. Slowly shift, bring the elbows down. Let's lace the fingers together, then tuck the toes, round the body as the knees lift, then slowly shift back, release the hips. If you're on your elbows and forearm, push the elbows down into the floor so that the shoulders move away from the ears. Holding it here, maybe just 2 or 3 more easy breaths for the body today. When you're ready, slowly lower the knees. Reset the hips with your child's pose. And you can either hold it here or add in that little flow for strength, stability, and to keep the body warm. So either hold it in child's pose or reach through the hands, elbows lifted, inhaling forward to plank. Exhaling, low plank. Inhale, press back up, and exhale back. It takes 2 breaths, matching breath to movement. Inhale forward, exhale down. That's our 1 breath. Inhale, lift, and exhale back. Let's try that 1 more time, or you can hold child's pose. Inhaling forward, exhaling to lower, inhaling to lift, exhaling, take it back. From down dog or child's pose, let's all just take a moment, reset the hips, find the breath, and think about how you might want to come up to standing. So we're going to step 1 foot forward at a time. We may want to use a wall or a chair or put the hands on the thighs. Bring the other foot forward. Hang the head nice and loose for a moment. Maybe just come up a third or halfway. Hands on the legs, away from the knee joint. The knees are in a little bit of a vulnerable position when we put pressure on them. So hands can be on the shins, up on the thighs. No matter where you are, begin to release your low back, creating a flat back. So it's almost like cow pose from standing. As your body and breath acclimate, walk the hands up a little more and then up a little more, and eventually bring yourself all the way up to standing. Let's do a small standing sequence. Inhaling the arms up overhead. Exhale, step the left foot back. Bend the right knee. Exhale, swan dive, hands to the thigh. Push the hips back. Let's straighten our right leg. Big breath in, looking forward. Then exhale, slowly lower down. Pyramid pose. Option to hold it here, or walk your hands forward and lift that left leg into a standing split. Just one more breath, big inhale. Exhale, lower the back leg. Let's walk our hands up onto that front right leg. Pause at about the halfway point, blood pressure happy. Inhale, sweeping the arms overhead. Exhale, step to mountain, both toes forward. Inhale, sweep the arms back, standing chest expansion. Pulling the shoulders away from the ears, lifting through the ribs and opening the throat. 2 more exaggerated breaths here. Big inhale. Exhale. When you're ready, relax the hands. Inhale, sweep overhead. Palms touch, stepping the right foot back. Bending the left knee. Inhale, reach. Exhale, swan dive. Flat back. Let's straighten that left leg for pyramid. Feel your right hip dropping forward a little bit. On the next exhale, walk the hands down. Pyramid expression. We could always use a yoga block here or even a chair or a wall in front of us. Either hold it here or walk the hands forward, shift and lift the back leg, standing split. One more big inhale. Exhale, lower the back foot. Let's take our sweet time. Easy does it with the body. Walk the hands up onto the left leg, flatten the back. Inhaling, reverse swan dive, warrior one. Exhale, step to mountain. Find the breath. On the next inhale, sweeping the arms back behind us, big exaggerated chest expansion, shoulders rolling away from the ears, lengthening through the sternum. One more big breath in. And then exhale, relax everything. Let's do our standing balancing pose for today's session. Standing on the left foot, gently lifting the right knee. Option to open that knee, placing our foot somewhere on the inside of the leg or an expression of tree pose. Notice where the arms want to go for balance. Sometimes the body wants to reach out, almost like a tightrope walker. We can use the arms for leverage to center the body. Sometimes the body wants to contract in. So as the muscles stay closer to the spine, this can create more comfort for some people. Let's just stand here for maybe 2 more easy breaths. When you're ready, slowly lower both feet and take your time shifting sides. Stand however you want to start with a comfortable, balanced foundation, and then slowly lift the other leg and open up the thigh. Placing the foot anywhere from the floor to the inner thigh, keeping pressure away from the knee joint. Once we have that foundation, we build the pose from the bottom up, noticing where the arms might go naturally to create more security, more balance. Palms up can make a difference from palms down. Let's lengthen from that standing foot through the spine, through the crown of the head. Just maybe one more big breath in. When you're ready, relax your arms, relax the legs, roll out the wrist, wiggle the fingers. Let's inhale the arms overhead. Give yourself a minute to center with the breath, or maybe grab a sip of water. From here, we are coming down to the floor for final meditation and relaxation. to safely come down to the floor. There are a lot of ways to get down to the floor. One of the safest ways is to use a wall, a chair, some sort of a prop. So we can slowly walk the hands down, take one foot back and lower a knee. Walk the hands down a little more, maybe take the other leg down, and then come down to seated. From seated, we might want to turn towards the floor and use our hands to bring us down into side lying. From side lying, rolling onto our backs. Easy does it. You're always welcome to roll onto your belly and maybe even relax with your hands as a pillow. There's no wrong yoga pose for relaxation, so please just take your time and get comfortable on the floor. If there are any other stretches or movements that you feel that your body might appreciate right now, go ahead and move in any natural way. This guided meditation will be about 15 minutes. From wherever you are, let's start with the breath. Again, as long as we're breathing, we're doing yoga. If you're lying on your belly, as you inhale, the breath will naturally move to the back of the lungs along the sides of the spine. If you're lying on your back, the breath will naturally be more in the front of the body or on the sides of the lungs. And of course, we could always lie on one side too, in a sleeping child lying on the side, and you would feel the breath in the back and a little bit on the side waist. Let's acknowledge any part of the body that's healing today in this meditation. We're moving into the practice of Tong Lin. This is a meditation that helps us to have more understanding of our bodies as a vessel for energy. So we are able to absorb energy, we're able to store it, contain it. We have the ability to transform it. And then we can also give energy out from the body. So we are containers, conductors, transformers of energy and impulses. So if there's any part of the body that is healing at all, acknowledge that body part. And maybe we feel that the body's all good today, but maybe there are some emotions that we know interrupt our peace in the day. So any type of emotional disturbance that comes up, if we have found ourselves getting frustrated, impatient, angry, irritated, maybe think about the right side of your waist. This is the liver. So think of the liver on the right side of the body if you've been having those emotions. If you've been feeling any grief or deep sadness, imagine the very center of the chest. So it could be finding the collarbones into the center of the chest, not quite the heart, but down into the center, over the sternum region, over that flat bone there. If you've been having trouble giving of yourself, maybe you just feel that it's hard for you to give, maybe just think of the left side of your chest or the upper left lung. If you've been struggling with receiving, if you know that you've needed help lately, or you know that you maybe have told someone no, who has offered to give you assistance, think of the right side of your body. So the right side is for receiving and the left side is for giving. If you've been stubborn, so first let's just check in. If we say, am I stubborn? And you go, no, I'm not. Maybe think of your knees. Think of the knees and the elbows for stubborn energy. Or if we know we've been controlling, think of the elbows and the knees. Now, having at least one body part in mind, see that body part as a gray cloud, just sort of a gray, misty, vaporescent energy. Visualizing that emotion or that body sensation, objectifying it by seeing it rather than feeling it. Just see it for what it is. And maybe say, yes, I see this is with me. This is not me, but it's something with me that I acknowledge. And now, as you inhale, feel your chest relax. And as you inhale, imagine that you're pulling that gray energy into the heart, directly into the heart. Shift that energy. It could be one big breath that shifts one massive gray cloud, or maybe we just open to receive bits of that gray energy. Hold it in your heart. Hold it there. You have all the peace, all the love, and all the power to transform this. Love is the catalyst to healing. There is peace and there is power in that. I have all the peace, all the love, all the power to heal this. If it doesn't feel true, that's okay. Acknowledge if there's any feeling of resistance and then repeat it again. When you're ready, exhale and feel like a white light releases from your chest. We may want to rotate through a different body part or stay with the same body part so that each inhale just pulls bits of that energy into the heart, just a little at a time for transformation, just a little at a time so that we're able to adapt. Sometimes it's just, an act of radical courage. And we just take a breath in and we say, I'm just going to bring it all into the heart. I'm ready for that now. I'm ready for that healing right now. So either bits or just one big breath, draw it all into the heart. Hold it there. You could hold the breath or exhale. Let that energy settle back in the heart space. At some point, let it go. Let it go. This is considered an active meditation, meaning that you are working, actively working to cleanse the body. Shaucha, purification, shaucha. Cleansing the body by letting go, a parigraha, practice of letting it go. Rotate through another body part. Maybe we feel that we're all good. We're all cleansed energetically. That's possible. So you can continue to work on your own body or allow your heart to open, allow the mind to expand. And maybe there's someone that we know right now who is hurting, who's sick. It could be mental, it could be emotional, it could be spiritual pain. It could be somebody who is living or somebody who is no longer with us on the physical plane. So maybe there's someone you know that has passed on, that has moved from the physical plane, but you still sense they suffer or they suffered in some way or they experienced pain. And maybe just see that person. Someone might come to you right now, a face, a name. Let go of any judgment as to why. Let go of any judgment as to who. And just notice, can you be with this person? Can you be with their pain? And see the gray cloud in them, on them, around them. Acknowledge this mantra. I have all the peace, all the love, and all the power to heal. And when you're ready, radical courage. Inhale, pull that gray energy off of them and into your own heart. Exhale, let that energy settle back. When you're ready, take in a big breath and then let it go. White light. It could move out from the chest. It could move out from your hands, your feet, your head, your whole body. Just let it all go. The same person might stay present with you for a while in this meditation, or you might start to notice faces just kind of popping up. Let's open ourselves to be with another person's pain and understand that their pain is no different than ours. Let's open ourselves to experience unconditional love and healing, to give and receive unconditional love. Maybe just one more time. Inhale, draw that gray energy in from that other person or from your own body. Bring it into the heart. Exhale, let it rest. Inhale, bring it up. Exhale, white light. Let it all go. Now breathe in white light, breathe out white light. Let's just cycle that through the body. Feel that the whole body breathes. So not just the nose through the throat or the lungs, but the whole body absorbs white light as we inhale. And as we exhale, the whole body releases, radiates white light coming out of the pores. Either see or have a sense of this white light becoming even brighter. Perhaps so bright we don't see it, we just feel this magnificent radiance. As you inhale, there's expansion, and as you exhale, there's contraction. For the next few easy breaths, as you inhale, absorb the sound, ah. Exhale, feel the body releasing the sound, ta. You could put the tip of your tongue to your gum line just behind your two front teeth. So you would roll the tongue slightly up and back. Holding it there, this relaxes the lower bottom lip. And then again, you continue to absorb that white light. Inhale, ah. Exhale, ta. Let's take at least 2 quiet minutes to work with this meditation. Inhale, ah. Exhale, ta. Let's deepen our breath. Draw in a big inhale. Hold it. 3, 2, 1. Now let it go. You could try that a couple more times. These short pauses after the inhale are used to create more of a sense of alertness, not necessarily energy or calm, just to be alert, aware. So draw in a big breath. Pause. 3, 2, 1. Let it go. Notice any inspiration to move from the breath in that pause. Draw in a breath, pause, and maybe just ask your body, what wants to move? Who wants to move? It could be the fingers or the toes. Maybe it's just rocking the head a little bit or moving your jaw and neck. You can stay exactly where you are in closing your practice. Maybe your body just wants to embrace stillness. Please just lie there. Just lie there and be still. If you feel like your body wants to sit up, if that moves you more towards comfort, go ahead and do that. Move towards comfort. Let's take a minute. Move if you want to move. Be still if you want to be still. If you're coming to seated, gently make your way up. You could always stop and lie on your side instead. Let's position your hands for closing. Maybe hands at the heart or over the chest or on the belly. No matter where you are, feel the chin in towards the sternum and collarbone so the back of the neck opens. Let's draw in a deep, unifying breath together. Ah, ta. Now, Atta Yoga Anushasanam. Now, the exposition of yoga has begun. The practice goes well beyond the mat. From here, we can close together. Namaste, everyone. Peace with us all. Have a lovely day.